Hello. Welcome back to a new video. Today, I'll be ranking the first games or remakes that have come close according to their nostalginess, basically how they bring out the nostalgia of AFS. Secondly, the balancing. Thirdly, the powers, that means both transformation and powers. And lastly, the graphics. So those four. So let's get on with the video. At the current moment, I'm in Anime Simulator, which was the number one EFS remake for some time until some glitches started happening. Bosses were hard to fight because it was gigantic. The bosses were gigantic and their hitboxes were enormous. For us, we were being hit with things that we can't even fight against at all. But let's get on with the video. For nostalgia, I want to give it such a high rating because, okay, this is how I feel about the game. When you spawn in, let's say here, you get the feeling that, wow, the feeling of a new aged modernized AFS. That's why for nostalgia I want to give it that such high rating. So for nostalgia, I do commend Kelvin because this was amazing. As in, when you get him, for some, I have played a lot of games, so I know the feeling of getting in and seeing how a game is. So at the current moment, this game for nostalgia is 5, but it gives competition to a lot of games because it feels like a modernized aged AFS, basically like F Animal Fighting Simulator X, but if it lived longer. So for that, this game receives a 5 because this nostalgia is only in the training zones such as the gym, the bridge, even the boss is in the same boom, and not the champions. Like, it feels more modernized, like a modernized AFS, and I think it would have done better if the bosses weren't so hard to grind or so glitchy sometimes. So, but I do give it a solid 5. Now let's go to balancing. The game so far has tried its best with balancing, so I'll give it just alone, without any explanation, a solid alone is solid 5. With explanation, it goes up to a solid 7 to 8 because, let's say the truth, AFS, a lot of AFS games have been failing because of the glitches that do happen. And this was a game that came out having such good graphics, and also having a lot of things already in the game, such as powers having a different function. The Rasengan alone, you could activate it and run around. It give you a little bit of a speed boost, run around and hit something with it. But yeah, that's it for that. Now, for balancing overall, counting the fact that champions had already gone so high in terms of training because of the update of what are they called, tokens, where you could upgrade a champion to train something more than it is. So yeah, this is a solid 8 for balancing. Now let's get on with the powers. For the powers, I'll give it a solid 10 because the graphics of the powers, the balancing of the powers is high, but the glitching of transformations, stands especially, does make it unfair for people in boss fights, and also it made tournaments really hard, and it made the game just unbearable to play, because you get into a boss fight, someone one shots it, you get nothing, and they continuously do that. Get into a tournament, try to kill someone, but they only do 2 powers and you're already dead. You can't do anything. So that brings it down to an 8, because I think people will get frustrated. So those are 2 8s and 1 5. Now let's get on. What is the last one? Graphics. Graphics, he gave it a solid 10. Kelvin GTS tried making a whole different game, which made it so that AS looks as if it's a modernized anime fighting simulator, which has lived longer and looks better. He did it take the caution of not adding MHA content, because that's part of the things that did make it hard for AFS to live for longer than it did. But I do say this is amazing. The way they made this game is impeccable by far. It has made the game feel livelier. Just alone, it does make the game feel more lively and a lot more balanced, to say the truth, because for something with such graphics and the powers being so high and the consistency, even though they didn't update that much because there weren't that many players by the time the second world was coming out, but the consistency in updates, it was amazing. So yeah, GTS, if you're watching this video, thank you for the game. I'll still play the game, but yeah, overall rating will be 1 8, another 8, another 5, and a 10. That is overall 31. Now let's go to AFSC and compare it. Here we are in AFSC, a game that has brought out the nostalgia of the game from where you enter the dojo, all the way to the fact that it has some implementations, such as how you spawn in, how it looks inside, from Boom to Goku being the first pick you see, the way you spin for champions, and also the way the ground looks in the training areas, from the dung, which is shrine, to the chakra tree. This game so far has earned a solid 10 in nostalgia. Now, I'm totally killing someone. Oh. Now, let's go on with balancing. In terms of balancing, the game is a solid 10 as well, because so far there's no glitching, there's no exploit, because they've actually worked on that by banning 100,000 players recently. So 100,000 players have gone, and that's because they're amazing. So at the current moment, in terms of balancing, the game has solid 10 as well. So those are 2 10s, which is, I was so afraid of that. No, those are 2 10s. That is tough for his AS. Now let's go to, oh my days, I've forgotten. What the heck? Okay, never mind. Powers. Overall, powers are quite balanced. So another solid 8. The reason I'm saying that is because I'm still yet to see the latest. After the boss comes in, actually after worlds start coming in. So I'll personally wait until that happens, because the game so far has solid 8, but the extra 2 for 10 is because I doubt how it will be later on. But so far the graphics of the powers does lower it to 7, because no one expects that. Okay, so far it will continue rising, and it will continue rising slowly and steadily in terms of graphics, because that's what happened with the AFS until sadly it went down. But yeah, now let's get on. From powers we go to graphics. In terms of graphics, I'll give it a 7, because compared to Ace Anime Simulator, it's not as good. Compared to Anime Fighting Simulator, it's not that bad. So a solid 7 for that. So overall rating will be a 7, and a 7. So far, anyway, AFSC has won with 34 points. Thank you very much for watching. That was just a small preview, a small review of the game, because I do want to continue playing this game and later on make amazing content on it. So far, it's amazing. So thank you very much for watching. May you be blessed, and may God see you all. Thank you. Before I forget, and I almost forgot, this is a sneak peek of the new power, which I personally think, listen, I personally think this is a fruit, and a very iconic fruit, the light fruit. Because if you remember well, in AFS, these big balls of light so far were fruits. I was contemplating if it's what were they called? An ornament, but it can armament. Oh my days, an armament, but it's not. This has to be the light fruit or something. And yeah, this is how it will look. The cover page for AFS. This looks amazing, by the way. So when the update comes out, I might live stream the boss fights, because I want to actually get on with the live stream and boss fighting and see how we can talk. Thank you very much for watching. May God bless you all.